Hey everybody, Crystal Gamer here, and welcome to my channel and to a new build video. I'm so happy I'm finally getting to a build video for A Realm of Magic. I have been doing so many like informational and how-to instructional type videos for Realm of Magic that I haven't put out a build video yet. This is my first build video for Realm of Magic. And I guess I should say, before we get into talking about this one, I should say, if you're new here, I obviously do a lot of Sims videos. I have 7 different Realm of Magic videos right now on the instructional and kind of informational how-to sort of end of things. And then, of course, I do a whole bunch of other Sims content between cast stuff and builds and build instruction and challenges and all sorts of stuff. So if you like The Sims, please don't forget to hit that like button and the subscribe and the little notification bell so that YouTube lets you know when I release new videos. So, all right. So all of that stuff said, I have a decent amount probably to talk to you about today, but I'm a little bit nervous about it because this is a little bit of a longer video than I usually do. I usually don't include the interior furnishings, and this time I included more of that. So we ended up with a little bit of a longer video, and I don't know, I liked it. If I'm being honest, I kind of like the interior a bit, and so that's why, I don't know, I couldn't help but include the interior furnishings because I do kind of like some of the Realm of Magic stuff, and I like the way this one turned out. I was happy with it. And so actually, I guess I should tell you what this is. I don't think I've mentioned that yet. It is my version of the Elixirs and Brews bar in Glimmerbrook, which is the Realm of Magic world. If you're new to Realm of Magic, it is the Realm of Magic world, which is, it's a pretty world. It's kind of, to me, it's a little bit like the, Willow Creek world, a little bit like that, or Granite Falls, actually, probably a little bit more like Granite Falls. It's similar to Granite Falls. So it's a pretty world. It's kind of small, and the only community lot is the bar. Except for, of course, when you get into the magic realm, but here the only community lot is the bar. And man, when I looked at it, at first I thought, oh man, this needs a total overhaul, renovation type thing. And then when I actually sat down to do it, I was like, I'm staring at it. I'm like, no, I just can't. I've just got to bulldoze the whole thing. So much for my renovation. I ended up completely bulldozing the whole thing and starting from scratch. And part of it was I thought it needed a lot of help, which I think the Sims team does that on purpose, actually, and I'm not mad at them for it. I think it's actually a good thing because a lot of the stuff that comes with the game, as far as the builds that come with the game, to me as a builder, a lot of them are kind of treacherous. Like they need serious facelifts and help, either renos or just complete redos and everything. And I think that they do that on purpose, so as to sort of feed the building community things to either renovate or completely redo. So I'm not mad at them for that at all. I actually think it's kind of a good thing that the builds that come with it are less than stellar, we'll call them. And yeah, this one I felt it needed a lot of help, so I decided to do a complete redo. I just completely demolished the thing and started from scratch. And part of that too was I've been really into studying castle life and medieval life and architecture and different things that just from that period, I've been studying a lot of castle and medieval type stuff lately. So I've been kind of into that. And one of the things that sort of really struck me with this was the fact that wattle and daub architecture was very common back in medieval days. And it's a style that I like a lot. And when I say wattle and daub, what I'm talking about this look with the beams with the white in between. It's called wattle and daub style. And that was pretty common. And I think a lot of the reason that I like it a lot is I lived in Germany when I was young, in Bavaria. And there's a lot of that there. And it's very pretty. And so, I don't know, it's something that you see a good deal of in certain parts of Europe. And I don't know, I just like the look of it an awful lot. And I don't know, that's just kind of what I was feeling for this. And I don't know if it's because I've been studying a lot of the castle stuff and the medieval stuff and all of that. I don't know if that's why I was feeling it for that. But I just felt that this type of style would be cool for a magical bar type place. And this is a magical bar place. When we get to the bottom floor, it's sort of a spellcaster's delight down there, and you guys will see it. And speaking of the bottom floor, that is actually another architectural element. I hope I don't bore you guys. I'm gonna educate on architecture for a minute for those that don't know, and I hope this isn't boring. I hope it's actually helpful to simmers. So one of the things that was common in that time period was to do a stone base, and the reason being, of course, we do concrete bases now. Because putting wood straight down onto the ground, wood will rot, stone won't, neither will concrete. So stone is a much better base. So oftentimes they did a stone base, and they did this thing that I did on this build, which is to say jettying it out on the second floor. And that is actually an architectural term. It jetties out on the second floor. And in this build, it jetties out all the way around. Now, back in the old days, the jettying out depended on a couple of things. So if you were in the city, cities tended to be pretty jam-packed because they didn't have cars back then. So if you don't have cars, you're walking everywhere. So everything kind of needs to be within walking distance. So they wanted to pack the cities in as close as possible. So one of the reasons that jettying was used back in the cities in the old days was because you could have a smaller foundation. So you built that smaller stone foundation, and then you jettied your building out on the second and third floor over the street so that you would get more floor plan, more real estate up on the second and third floor. So that was one of the reasons for jettying. And then on this build and others like this that would be in maybe more rural areas where it wasn't jam-packed and you didn't have houses kind of like right next to each other on top of each other where you had more space, they would jetty out all around, partially for there's more floor plan, more real estate on that floor, obviously, if you jetty it out, and partially because it's cheaper to build the second and third floors because stone is the most expensive, hardest material to work with. So once you get into the wood and the wattle and daub, that's a lot cheaper, a lot easier to build and to work with. So better to have larger second and third floors. And then the other thing, and this is a bit of an architectural thing, I wish that I could kind of show this during the speed build because it's easier if you can see it to visualize it. But the other reason that they did this jettying out thing on the sides was because if you imagine a square foundation, a stone foundation, square, rectangle, whatever, and if you were to take that square stone foundation and you were to put a beam from one side of it to the other side of it, and then put a whole ton of weight on top of that beam on the second and third floor, eventually that beam would begin to sag, right? But if you take that same beam and you take it out a couple of feet on each side of that stone wall, so you jetty it out on either side of that stone wall, and then you build up and you put a bunch of weight on the second and third floor, now you're distributing the weight across the beam. So that was another reason for jettying. So there was like a ton of reasons for why the old buildings often had smaller foundations and then jettied out on the second and third floor. So I wanted to do some of that with this build. So I did, obviously. And then the part that's kind of inaccurate on this build is really it's the top. I did a watchtower at the top, and I did that kind of for looks and to be just a little bit whimsical, because I have this tendency, this sort of strong tendency to always kind of want to go for architectural accuracy or architectural possibility, and I don't like to go against the laws of physics too much. And I see other people with these like super awesome whimsical builds and different things, and I'm like, man, that's really cool. It's not architecturally possible, but it's really cool. And I just have like a mind block or trouble sometimes, I feel, about doing things that are architecturally impossible or architecturally inaccurate or something like that. So I kind of forced myself to I did part of this build. I like granted myself permission to do part of it pretty, architecturally accurate. And then the top of it, the watchtower, I said, no, I'm going to go whimsical, and I'm going to add something that's probably not too architecturally accurate with this watchtower at the top. And the main reason being it's 2 more floors up there that are in the center, and the whole beam sagging thing, even if you're jettying out on both sides, you've just added a whole heck of a lot of weight to the center top of your building. And I'm not quite sure that they would have done that. It wouldn't make too much logical sense to do that. And typically watchtowers were kind of separate entities, not, are often not separate necessarily. It could be separate, but often to the side of a building like this, not in the center. But yeah, I just kind of wanted that look. And so I allowed myself or forced myself actually to do something that might not be 100% accurate from an architectural standpoint, but I wanted to have a little fun with it because this is supposed to be a little bit of a magical thing. It's in Glimmerbrook, it's Realm of Magic, all of that stuff. I wanted to use some of the totally awesome Realm of Magic windows, we have those round windows and the stained glass windows and just all kinds of cool windows. And I tried to add in a couple in the beginning of this, and I'll tell you what, it just doesn't. Oh, I can try to be whimsical, but I just can't. It didn't go. It just doesn't go with Wattle and Dom architecture. It's not the type of thing that they would have had. So I just couldn't do it. I couldn't see it. I tried it, looked at it. I was like, no, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't look right to my eyes. So I couldn't do it. So I did include a couple of kind of castle-y windows on the bottom floor, and the cool windows from Get Together, the cool windows that sort of they're, I guess you could call them bay windows, not bow windows, bay windows, I guess, the front ones. And then those big sort of, I don't know, what do you even call those kind of encasement windows on the sides? I have to look that up. I'm not sure actually what you call those big windows, but they're really cool. Some of the windows that came from Get Together with the Get Together was the Windenburg pack, right? I have that right. I'm almost positive that Get Together is the pack. Yeah, I think I'm thinking right. And man, I love that pack. I love Windenburg. Windenburg's one of my favorite, or probably my favorite world. Even with Sulani, I love Sulani to death, but Windenburg is probably still my favorite world. It's just so. I don't know. It's got the 3 different sections. I love that it's so large. It has 3 sort of distinct sections. It's a fabulous world. And I like this new world in Glimmerbrook. It reminds me a lot of Granite Falls, and it's a very pretty world, but it is small. We only have 5 lots on it. There's only this one community lot. And I mean, granted, of course, you could make more community lots, but it starts out with just this bar community lot. But it is, I mean, it's a pretty world. And of course, the Realm of Magic area is pretty as well. But it's small. It's small too. But I still like it. It's small. You can't really build there, though. You can do the headquarters with free build enabled. You can alter the headquarters or rebuild the headquarters, which is something that I'm probably going to do because the headquarters building, honestly, that's another thing that it really kind of needs some help. The headquarters building is supposed to be Magic HQ, and I'll be honest, it does not look that magical. But again, I think that they kind of do that stuff on purpose. And I'm okay with that. It feeds those of us that are builders, I think, to kind of do some different things. So I may do that one eventually as well. I have another one too that's a couple actually other ones that I've built. I can build much faster than I can do videos. I have a base game plus Realm of Magic small house, witch's house that I did, or spellcaster's house or whatever that I did, that's kind of cute, that I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I can get out after this video. We'll see how things go. Every time I try to plan my videos out, something happens. Typically the EA does some awesome thing, like decides to give us a bunch of new content or something, and then I have to totally revise my schedule, and but I'm not even going to complain about that, because if they're giving us stuff, I'm happy. So although I will say, I would have liked some more clutter items for Realm of Magic, and the downstairs on this, it's a Spellcaster's Delight, but I ended up using all of the familiars and all of the potions and the brooms and a couple of the wands and all of this stuff that are actually earned or bought items, and I kind of wish that they would give us more clutter items so that we could create a really cool area like that that's applicable to the pack, where we don't have to use items that are earned or bought. Like I just want decor items so that if people want to earn or buy the items, they're not necessarily readily available. And we have decor items that we can use, but I don't know. It's kind of one of my beefs with the Realm of Magic pack. I really feel like it was lacking in decor items. There were some cool things. The windows are amazing. I don't know how much use I'll get out of the windows. They're cool and they're amazing. I don't know how much I'll actually use them, but I can't deny the coolness of them. But I really do wish that they would have given us some more clutter items for sure. It's definitely lacking in clutter items. So a lot of the earned items is what I used for clutter down the bottom, and we'll see what comes through when people download. I will tell you, I did 2 test downloads where I saved it to the gallery and I downloaded this build, and in one of them, all the potions came through and one of the 2 wands did not. And in another test, none of the portions came through and one of the 2 wands did not come through. All of the familiars came through both times. So I'm not quite sure exactly how much of that stuff is going to download when people download it off the gallery, but it'll be on the gallery under my EA ID, Crystal Gamer 1. And I think I'm probably just going to leave the name, the Elixirs and Brews. I kind of like that name. So it's just my take on what I want the Elixirs and Brews bar to look like. So I think I'm probably going to leave that name when I upload it to the gallery. Either way, it's going to be under Crystal Gamer 1, and of course I'll put the build name down below as well. And it's obviously a CC free build, and believe it or not, I did not use a ton of packs on this build. I think I only used a handful of packs, and several of the packs that I used, I only have maybe 1 or 2 items from those packs. So I think a lot of people will be able to download and use it, provided they have a few of the packs. The Realm of Magic Get Together and Cats and Dogs were kind of my key packs for this build. But looky here, man, this was a long video, and I was so worried at the beginning of this that I was going to be able to actually talk all the way through it. And look at this, we're on the screenshots, and I have managed to gab my way all the way through. I don't know if that says good things about me or bad things about me. I'm really not quite sure, but nonetheless, I have managed it. Hopefully you're still with me. Hopefully I didn't bore you to tears with all my talk of architectural stuff and everything. Maybe it was more educational than boring. Fingers crossed, I don't know. But nonetheless, if you have stuck around this long, I'm assuming that means that you've liked this video. So if you have, please don't forget to hit the like button down below. And again, if you are not subscribed yet, please do hit the subscribe button and the little bell for notifications so YouTube lets you know when I release new videos. And thank you all so much for spending the time with me today. Hope to see you all back again next time. Bye now.